I had a time, I walked to the nightclub without a lineup, shine, clothes, car, fancy, but they don't see the part. I'm walking with my friend, and all of a sudden some guy come and shot him in the face, and I ducked down, and another part of the God miracle in my life that he pointed at me, and I look at the gun, and I literally I said goodbye. I said, okay,
Yeah.
this is it.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode on Coffee with Kuda. I am your host and my name is Kuda Mabiza. I am excited to introduce you for the second time, Freddie, who comes here to tell you the second chapter of his life in addiction. Freddie, how are you today?
Not bad, thank you.
Awesome. It's good to see you again.
Thank you.
I'm excited to conclude our story.
When you are deep in addiction and you don't see
Right.
how far you are in. In your mind, you think you are managing.
Correct.
In addict mind, like I was homeless, I was no place to go, I lost everything, family didn't want, but somehow insanity of the addiction is, I thought I'm doing okay.
We have to talk about that. We really do. That story blew my mind away. We also have to talk about when your friend got shot in the
Yes.
head.
Yeah.
And here you are, you're the next person, gun pointing at you.
Yeah, that's part of the gang life. They said you play with the sword, you die with the sword. You play in the gang and crime life, and these are things is happening, and unfortunately, that's a part of the iceberg people doesn't see. You know, yes, I had a time, I walked to the nightclub without a lineup, shine, clothes, car, fancy, but they don't see the part. I'm walking with my friend, and all of a sudden some guy come and shot him in the face, and I ducked down, and another part of the God miracle in my life that he pointed at me, and I look at the gun, and I literally I said goodbye. I said, okay,
Yeah.
this is it, and his gun jammed, and
incredible.
he clicked it a couple of times. He couldn't get over it, and he started running, and I was in shock. And then I turned back, and I see my friends laying down there. He didn't make it.
You had no family here though, right?
No, I didn't have any family here. I have some cousin in Toronto.
Yeah.
But they left Iran a long time ago. Kind of we get disconnected.
Yes.
You know, and my goal always was come here, become a citizen, get my passport, go see my brother, maybe move to United States after that. Kind of looking for normal family life.
Yes. That was the goal.
That was the goal.
So as you enter Canada with that mindset, I want to understand from an immigrant perspective, how does one get caught up in the life of crime?
As an immigrant, we came here, unfortunately, lots of our qualification, education, or diploma is not considered in Canada. It's not by the Canadian standard. So you start from the bottom, and it's hard because, especially in city like Vancouver, it's very expensive city.
Correct, yes.
You work, you never get anywhere. And unfortunately, I don't know now, but my time when I came here, Nobody come to us and say, hey, you can go get this training through to the work BC. You can go get this training through to the government. You are on welfare or on disability. You can get all this. I didn't know about these things. I'm just working my life out every day and getting tired, my depression kicking. I have no family to go, feel lonely, hopeless. And all of a sudden, you interact with the people who are already here in part of the gang. For me, it was other Persians or Iranian guys, and they are driving nice cars. They invite you, they buy you a dinner, they buy you this, they give you this, and you feel obligated to serve them.
Wow.
Right?
Because now you're wondering, how are you guys getting this?
Now, all of a sudden, from lonely immigrant who work 12 hours a day to just survive, I'm somewhere, people buy me things, I go to a high-end restaurant, I go to high-end nightclubs, just by hanging out with these guys.
Yeah.
So why I should do this when I can do this?
Right. So that explains how you get enticed to join a gang.
Yes.
As you're joining the gang, are you very much aware that I'm going rogue, you know?
No, you don't. You learn as you go.
Okay. Learning
Right.
as you go.
First is you're part of the brother, you're welcome, everybody take care of you, and then slowly, probably they research you, and then they find out you are trustworthy, and then responsibility comes with a small task.
Yes.
And then one day you feel like you are part of the team. And when you are part of the team, your responsibilities go bigger.
Of course.
And it's not responsibility like take care of the kids. It's all about the crime.
Wow.
The crime job you take care responsibility for. And because of my background in army and in the war, I can say I was suicidal from beginning.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Okay.
I was dealing with the post-traumatic depression from the war. I already hate the world. I already angry about the things happened to my family and everything in my country. So when I got involved with these guys, I was fearless.
Wow. I think we didn't touch much about that, you know, because you grew up in Iran and you're seeing these things happening to your family. Maybe if you can just touch on one or 2 points things that we cannot understand being in the Western world that are happening to a family back home, because this is the trauma now, all right? If you can give us a little bit of an insight into it.
Inside, like you imagine, I remember when the revolution happened, I was like 11, 12 years old.
Right.
And my dad was a very respectful man in the city, helped lots of people. My mom always doing the charity. And all of a sudden, revolution happened. And they break our door open and they come. They grab my dad and I'm sitting there and I'm watching. They beating him up. My mom get involved. My mom get beat up. And I'm just shocked sitting and I'm watching this.
Wow.
And I couldn't understand why.
You're 11 years old.
I'm 11 years old. Me, I have just hold my sister. She was little one that time. And we were shocked. What's going on?
Wow.
And then they took my dad away. My dad was part of the army in Kingdom Army, right? So, and after that, I had no choice. I have to become a man. Wow. Like, I didn't have childhood.
Wow.
I didn't play with the toy. The first toy I had was, I think, revolver.
Wow. How old are you using?
I was 15, 14.
At 14 years old.
And I mean, like, and you walk into the street, people getting, every morning you open the TV, is showing all the people being executed or hanging, and it's like you all of a sudden open to the world with no law.
Wow.
And you try to survive. And from that life, you all of a sudden come to the world, Canada, beautiful country. And you talk to the people, they complaining about in their college there is not a good sandwich. Instead of that ham and cheese, they serve in the bad salami.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm coming from the country. You have to go to your army. You have to exam between 250,000 students. There is one exam a year. All the graduates of the high school, they do that, which about 250. And the capacity of all the college and university in the whole country is 60,000.
Wow.
So you have to be top 60,000 to get, and it's not the subject you love to study. It's whatever you get.
Wow.
By your mark. Yes, if you be first top 50, you can choose whatever you want, but
The likelihood.
what is the likelihood, the chances, right? So you come to this damage, it's like, is put something, warm it up so hot and put in the cold water. Everything shattered because
Yes.
my mind was shattered. I'm coming here and I see people complaining on this. I said, if that was a life, what is this?
Correct.
If this is a life, what is that?
Wow.
So I couldn't, and so it creates lots of anger, lots of hate. Not hate the world, but hate the life, because you can't find the answer.
That's correct. That's correct. That's mind-blowing. And you have painted a picture of what I guess we didn't understand from the first interview, right? When you were saying this 15-year-old, the toy they're holding is a 19 revolver, and you're watching people getting hanged. That's not something a 15-year-old should see. That's not something a 35-year-old should see. But it's becoming normal.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So does your dad ever come back to the house, or are you now the man
No,
of
my
the house?
dad was about 7 years, 6 years in jail, he been in custody, and after that they released him, and but he couldn't leave the country ever again.
Really?
He was prisoner of the city. He couldn't even, So
I wonder, while he's away for 5 to 6 years, are you the oldest male in the house?
no, my brother was,
Uh-huh.
but my brother, we were different. I love him to the death. He always is a good supportive for me in my life, and he has hemophilia, so he has his own challenges,
Oh.
right? And like if he get caught or something, his blood doesn't stop bleeding. His bleeding doesn't stop until he get to the hospital and get the factor 8 or something of the blood cell or what something to stop the bleeding. And so automatically I was the guy who
Makes sense.
mostly get out and do this. And I had, since I was a kid, I was that crazy kid.
Yeah.
I'm not, I own my part. I like that. excitement, danger. I had that mentality too, and I feed it.
Fred, do you finish high school?
Yes,
So during all this madness happening, you still have to go to school?
yes.
Wow.
I remember they train us, like when we go to a school, they train us, if you see the sirens with this song, you run out of the building and they have a concrete things we have to run into it. That means is a air bombardment coming, like an enemy airplane or something. Or if this kind of sirens comes, that means you have to get out of the house, get out of the school, and for earthquake and stuff. But it was funny. We get trained for if the bomb hit the school, what we should do.
Wow. Does that ever happen to you guys though?
Not my school, but we had a couple of schools being hit,
Oh my God.
and lots of kids. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was that time. I graduated already, but
Okay.
I was working in some south of the Tehran, and we hit the sirens. Everybody kind of escaped whatever, and all of a sudden we heard the bomb, and we ran, and we find out it's a school.
Okay. We find out it's a school. That's madness. I'm going to start talking now. You come here now. You have this at the back of your mind. This is why I was interested to hear about the backstory, right? Because we hear PTSD. Everyone always says trauma, trauma. But what is trauma to that specific individual? And to you, the trauma was this. So now we have a picture of it. It tells us why you were so somewhat reckless and not caring too much about life, because you've already seen worthless life kind of being hung in the streets, people getting shot, and you mentioned last time in the interview that yeah, I don't care, I'm ready to die anyways.
Yeah.
So now you're now in this circle. You're not exactly stuck, but it's a trap in a way, because you're being invited in a way like a brotherhood. But then now you're in it.
Yeah.
I want you to talk a little bit to the youth who are listening from the immigrant life. Not just immigrant life, anyone who gets stuck actually in the gang life. You said there's nice things that come with it. Nice cars,
Yeah.
fancy clothes, getting in the best clubs. What challenges did you face as you are now in these gangs and you're just realizing it can get bad?
Maybe it's not proper, but let's say gang life is kind of like a marriage.
Okay.
Some marriage, not all of it. Don't get me. Let's start with the honeymoon.
Ooh, okay.
Honeymoon is great. And then life is starts. Kids, work, losing the work,
Yes.
getting the job. All these things in the life happen. And they get harder, right? But in marriage, woman and man, they decided put their hand together and go through to it. But gang life is, if you can't provide, if you are not used for me, I don't need you,
Wow.
right?
That's crazy.
So it's like that marriage. The moment you lost your job, you come home and say, "Hon, this happened, and I get laid off." And she said, "Okay, I pack my stuff, I'm leaving." Right? How you feel?
That's a great analogy.
Right?
Right.
So that's the gang life. Yes, it's a story. I'm not denying it. It was fun. It was great. Some immigrant who nobody knows him in this country. I'm walking to the nightclub. My table is already booked. I spend the money that's like it worth nothing. And I'm feeling like I'm supported with the people and everything. But the moment, and then slowly responsibility comes. You have to go do this. What? Yeah. Okay. And you go do it. And then another. and another. And these things you do come with the consequences. Like
Wow.
my friends, you get shot.
Wow.
You know, and then you look at it, and all of a sudden you look at your eyes and you see, oh my God.
Tell us about that moment. I mean, you said you were walking out. You're with your friend.
Yeah.
This is just in your neighborhood.
Yeah, just walking around, go check it out, see everybody working, everybody, because we have people
Task.
who selling dog in the street, and just check them out, see everything is okay, collect the money or whatever, and if anybody need anything, and just another sunny day, we are walking around, laughing, joking, and boom,
In the middle of the day.
in the middle of the day, daylight.
Wow.
Or I can say another one, that very young man who was working with me, and we were sitting having lunch with his mom and his fiance, and he get a phone call and he said, I gotta go, I'll be back. I said, okay. 2 minutes. And he went and he didn't come back. We called his phone, no answer, da-da-da-da. And we find out wherever he go, it was a kind of set up, and they shot him 11 times.
11 times.
Yeah. Young man, 27 years old.
Wow. So now you're deep in this marriage and you're starting to see the other side.
Yes.
Do you ever ask yourself, Freddie, get out of this?
Every day. Literally every day after honeymoon. After honeymoon, and I'm looking at it, I said, God, I'm not here for this. Because for me and lots of people is, you are in the gang life, but you lie to every woman I date, I had to lie to. What I'm gonna say?
Yeah.
Oh, you are a very successful man. You drive a nice car, nice clothes. What do you do for a living? Oh, I'm just selling dope. No, you can't. You lie. You're living in the lie. You're living in the two life. And it's exhausting. Wow. I lie to my family. I lie to people I date. You date the person because you like the person.
Correct.
You're attractive to the person. And you start your relationship with a lie. How is it going to go? That relationship is going to go.
Wow. I'm wondering as well, first of all, you're reporting to these guys, you're giving back the money that's needed, but you're seeing that, man, I wish I didn't get caught up in this. Do you ever say to yourself, go to your brother in America? Because in a way, that would be the only escape.
Yes, I plan to do that. But unfortunately, by the time, first, as I said, by the time the honeymoon over, for me was the time I took the rap for the team and I went to jail. So the moment you go to jail for criminal offense in Canada, you are not allowed to get to until you get the waiver, and which that take forever. So I burned that bridge down, right?
You take the rap for the team.
Yeah.
With what benefit? Because number one, you don't have a family here, so they're not saying we'll look after your family. Why you? What is the reason?
That time I thought those guys are my family.
Right. So you're protecting them.
Yeah, I'm protecting my family. I sacrificed for my family.
How long do you spend in jail?
That rap was about 2.5 years.
Wow.
2 years. I did about 8-9 months. They call it pre-trial, good time, which is ×2.
Okay.
Because you're in maximum security, and then they moved me to the another one, and when I came out, I put the hold on my citizenship for Canada. I put the hold on my going to United States. That moment, you don't think about all those things.
Wow.
How you can, one action can change
Whole
your
path.
life,
Yes, yes. How old are you at this moment?
That moment I was like, I think 27, 30.
And are people that you're hanging around, are they around the same age? Are they older?
Mostly younger, older, same
Really,
age.
same age, so it didn't matter, right? Wow, that's a good analogy, painting what it cost
Yeah.
and what you've lost out on.
Yeah.
So thank you for bringing that up. So now we're talking about time in jail, because this is what some of the youth may not understand. All right, go to jail, it's okay, you're representing your gang, but there are struggles that personally I don't think I would be willing to go through, right? But if you can just tell someone like, hey, jail is like this, what did you see?
Jail, jail, it could be very educational place, and
Wow.
at the same time it could be very
Detrimental.
detrimental and trauma place. The place you can see the things, you can unsee it again, right?
Yeah. So as I was asking, if you can just tell us a little bit about the life in jail, because I do understand it is not as easy as some may perceive it to be, right? You're saying, I'm going to jail, I'm taking a rap for my team, it's okay, I come out stronger with more respect. But what challenges are you facing in jail?
First, for challenges, actually, for the youth and young generation is jail life is like you walk into the new country.
Okay,
There is a jail rules.
right.
Jail is not a place you can go do whatever you want. Never mind the guards. The jail people, we have our own language.
Oh,
They have their own rules, which table you can sit, where you can sit, where is your time to work out. These are all based on the jail's rule. And the jail is not like, in normal life, you make a mistake, you say, Mom, I'm sorry, I break this or I touch this. Okay, don't do it again. In jail, they don't tell you.
wow.
You pay the consequences.
There's a certain consequence that was paid.
Yeah.
What happened? Someone was about to be released.
Well, we had a friend, one of the jailmate, he was pretty rude. He kind of, like for example, in jail, if this is my table and 6 people sitting in the table, you can't just come and grab a sugar pack from my table.
Wow.
You have to ask. And you still don't reach and get it. One of the person around the table have to hand you that. You touch that sugar, you pay the consequences.
Wow.
I see people get a stabbed for chicken noodle, 50 cents chicken noodle
Getting stabbed for that.
for that. Or a slice of bread because they touch it when they shouldn't touch it. And this gentleman, this guy was there and he had some beef with some people and they called him to release but he has some owe money to some of the people in the unit. So he go pack his stuff and all of a sudden we saw him in third, because it's a third stairs, right, 3 level. And all of a sudden the guys fly down from the 3rd floor in the middle of the unit.
Wow. For not paying his debt.
You don't pay debt,
That's incredible. Okay. These are the challenges that you're about to face.
Yes. And the difference is, in jail, where you gonna go?
Correct.
Here, you owe money, you can move to Calgary, you can go move to Montreal, stay there a little bit, or whatever. But where you gonna go in jail? You have to deal with those people, and you have to talk the language, and you have to earn your respect.
Thank you for sharing that. You spent 2.5 years, so now you come out. Are you still wondering how you should come out of the gang? Or are you stuck?
Yeah, I was in my mind. As I said, I never came to Canada to become a gang member.
Correct.
I came here, I was looking for the dream I had from my childhood. I want that family. My dad come home, mom go around, kiss him, come and feed us, dad play with us, boxing, and my dream was have family.
Wow.
And I come, couple of bad choices, and not dealing properly with what
Yes.
really was wrong with me. And I end up with that life, looking for family, and these guys I find them as a family.
Wow. I know in the past we spoke about how you ran away from the gang life. I know it wasn't easy. You kind of like paid your dues in a way. What I want to touch on, we did not touch the most, was about your life during addiction, right? Because in the last interview we spoke about you did leave the gang, but you kind of like thought, I have some freedom to do what I want now.
Yeah.
So, right, so the party life became more without the affiliation of the gangs. So you were kind of like free to be you. But then, of course, the party life comes with using cocaine,
Yeah.
drinking a lot,
Yeah.
and using heroin to take away the edge
Yeah.
of cocaine, right?
Yeah.
So we spoke about that. It was so mind-blowing, right? And I do appreciate that. So we just want to go back into the addiction part of life. So you say that you were so stuck in it that you're looking for, no, you're not even looking for places to sleep. Sometimes you're staying up to avoid sleep. Just talk to me through that again.
Well, when you are in the street, sleeping is not a good thing, because every time you sleep, you get robbed.
Wow, okay.
People are stealing your stuff. And when you wake up, you have to deal with that sickness and cold, and you don't want to do that. So we avoid sleeping.
Wow.
Sleeping is not a good thing. You just want to stay awake as much as you can.
So I want to tie this in with, because being in a gang, you had made so many